I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what is up, and welcome into Pregaming here on Sports Money. TGIFF, we made it, we're here. It's Friday. Friday's connected to Saturday. We got a big live stream tomorrow night. Hopefully you guys can join us out there. Woo! Got through it on Christmas, the new year. Now here we go. We're off and running in 2025. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how this year unfolds. I told you guys the deal. There's a ton of things in the pipeline with sports money. Can't wait for you guys to start seeing that. And make sure, speaking of seeing that, you do go check out after this video some clubs out there with 3 new EPL videos for this weekend. He's got to play for Saturday. He's got to play for Sunday. He's got to play for Monday. And a bunch of action that he will share on the community tab as well. Trying to get paid, you guys. You know, we got to stack it up. We got bills to pay for, and they do not pay themselves. So let's get to work. A little internet snafu this afternoon, just after I got done posting some videos. Fortunately, I was able to get that last one posted in time. But it is time that we get going here. Gonna have to make do with what we have. Gonna have to make do with the graphic that we have here. I was barely able to squeeze this thing in. You can see there were some issues. I had to go into BetStamp twice. I had to go delete a bunch of things because I double posted today. I don't know what happened out there. The internet not cooperating with me. But it's all good. It's all good. We won't let it get in our way. Not today. It's time to get paid. We got some live dogs that I think are barking in the NBA. Put a little parlay together for the NBA. We've got 1, 2, 3 plays in the NHL. Got a college football play out there as well. And I can't recall if I got anything moving for college basketball. I don't think so. I feel like the afternoon got all messed up when the internet went out. That stinks. Then I'm stuck with just my phone, toddling through multiple websites trying to find the plays that I want to get out there. And this is what happens. This is what happens. The answer is no. The answer is no. I cannot seem to find them. I do want to add one more spot, though. Bear with me. A little out of sorts today, given this awkward start. But let's go. Let me just check this out real quick. We'll move this over here. We'll move that over there. And we do that. Trying to maximize this card with you boys and girls. And it ain't easy. It ain't easy. Okay. Think we've got it. Yes, we do have it. Okay. Off we go. Let's get this show on the road. Lots to do tonight. Got to get ready for the big live stream tomorrow, so it's only right that we put the fight to the book, man, tonight, you guys. Let's get it going. If you haven't done so already, need your help, it's time to hit that thumbs up button. Take just a moment out of your time here to do that. Let them know we're here. Notify them that we are not going anywhere, that we are trying to make this money and help them identify like-minded individuals to come on over here by way of the algorithm. Take a second to do that for me right now. All right. We're going to move quick tonight. I say that most night. I know that. But we are going to do just that tonight because there are plenty of things to do, and I am now significantly behind. So That's never good. You guys are just starting your weekends. I'm just getting going on mine here. We got lots of things to do, lots of games to scrub, lots of card to cap. Big cap for tomorrow, too. We've got those 2 NFL games. So let's go. You know the deal. Grab the pen and paper. Now is the time to get that out. Write down the best bets that are shared, not just by myself, but all of this community coming here together. They assemble here right now to give their best bets. All you got to do is write them down, get this cash with us, and let's see what we can do. Another kind of middling day yesterday. I say middling, but we're still ending up in the green, right? We ended up with about a half a unit of gain yesterday. Let's see. What went right? College basketball. Swept the board. Navy plus 2.5. Oakland plus 1.5. Remember, the home dog. Remember, the home dog. They're now on a 9-game winning streak because there was 8-game winning streak. I'm sorry. 6 yesterday going into yesterday, 2 today, or 2, I'm sorry, 6 going into yesterday and the 2 yesterday makes it 8 in a row. Remember that home dog. If you missed it, that's where you're going to go back. Check it out. You can use the document on the data on the side. When it gets yellow, specifically on that Oakland game, stop and listen. You'll catch it again. You won't miss out if you didn't write it down yesterday. And we caught that Tennessee Tech first half. What did I say? Fired up at home, big winning streak. Sat on their hands for 2 weeks. Now, on the flip side, I don't believe they covered the full game. So we did carve that puppy right out of stone. We got stoned on that Duke Ole Miss game. It turned out to be a rock fight. They were battling. They were shooting the ball all over the yard. Miss went over on their own with 52 points. Jackson Dart decides to come in and play. Duke finds a way to put up a 20 spot on their own. And it was ugly. The NHL wasn't much prettier here. The NHL, we got fleeced on that Ottawa plus 164. Took the swing. Didn't get there. And the under 6.5 in the Ducks game breaks that streak of 12 in a row after a win for the Anaheim Ducks going under. Goes 4-3 total. Anaheim won. It's things you can't make up. Things you can't make up. But we did get the Utah Yeti. They easily handled the Calgary Flames. That was the odd line of the day spot, if you guys will remember. Why is the team struggling, coming in at minus 120? They closed at minus 130. We got CLV. You ever notice the only guys that talk about CLV are the guys that are losing? The Nets, easy casher, outright winner. The Brooklyn Nets beat up on Milwaukee. They do it often. We talked about that here. We did not cash the under. That was the asshole play of the day. The under 226. Why? Because that series likes to go over. And it went over. Healthily over by, 20 points, 15 points? Didn't cash our Notre Dame teaser that I gave out in the community tab, but we did cash the Notre Dame spot easily as well. So all in all, yeah, I was action stretched out throughout the day, but certainly would have liked to have come in a little more positive than a half a unit. So let's see what we can do today. Let's get to work. Let's get the battle going here. Get the sword and shield. It's time to take the fight to the bookie. And we start off with commenter number 1 in the chat. It's Joe T. Jover was hanging out with us last night. Appreciate my dude, man. Guys rocking hard, supporting the community tab, driving that thing like a hot rod, putting out those plays on a regular basis. The Senators and the Blues, first period over for my guy Jover. Jover on the over, and it's the Senators and Blues in the first period out there. Shout out to David Wallace. There's Ramon Scott. He was hanging out with us last night. Charlotte. Ball. Out. Shit. That's not good. Joey Dubs in the house. Nicholas Handy's rocking with us. There's Subhuman Gaucho. Says, appreciate with the late injury report. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Old EJ Peasy. Jay Peasy. I sang you at 2-0 today, my friend. I hope you tailed. Jay Peasy. Barcelona. An easy plus 2-er. They're up winning outright by what? 11? 12? And then Merrimack. I mean, come on. Merrimack was a gift that keeps on giving. Some afternoon plays. Shout out to Barry. Says sports money is money. J Stone 9. Wrigleyville is happening. It's hopping. You know, those Blues players had some beers and hang out for a bit. Ottawa on a back-to-back, which is spot. I like the back teams in the first period. Ottawa first period money. There's a lot of B's in that statement, dude. Nice job. Good luck to you. Get your money, my friend. Keith's out there. Keith was rocking with us last night. Each and every stride. Let's go, Keith. J. Peasy likes that St. Peter's, St. Louis parlay. Okay. Okay. Jake Stone says, love first money lines when I have an advantage, knowing I have 2 out of the way, not losing my bet. There you go. There you go. Shut the mouth. Despite the Mel POD actually happens tomorrow. Sweden in regulation. A little International Ice Hockey World Junior Championships from our Mel. Appreciate Mel rocking with us. Irish King, Philly Eagle Flyer. Let's go. Just keep them giving it out tomorrow. Yeah, we're going live. We're going live at 4 p.m. tomorrow. We go live. Let's go out there. JPZ says Long Beach State is just home dog shit. Danny Beats now, Sancho. Sports money every single day. Running so hot. It's Ramon Scott. It's my favorite verse in that one. For now, I don't know. Sports makes money. I got to listen to it again. There's some good beats in there. Some good beats in there. What's it go? Sports makes money making. I don't know. I just know it sounds nice when I hear it. Let's go. Check out my guy Ramon Scott every morning at 9 a.m. on the morning steam here on Sports Money. Get your day started with the sports capital of the world in Las Vegas and Ramon Scott. Shout out to Fernando Mendoza. Melbourne City. Without a doubt, that was a good casher, my friend. Congratulations. Love it, man. You guys bringing these dubs in. Philly Eagle Flyer. Habs game over 4.5. Line A 1 point. Ducks plus 2.5. Blues game over 4.5. Whoa. Look at that for a second. Ducks plus 2.5. Blues game over 4.5. Okay. All right. Good luck, my dude. Philly Eagle Flyer. One of the best names in the business. KD's in the house. Pens, Rust, game number 600, going for point number 400. Point minus 127. There's a spot for you. Over 223 in the Knicks OKC, under 241 in Sacramento. Sabonis, over. Rebounds, 15. Wow. Even money. That's a big number too, huh? Let's go. David Epps was 0-2 last. I did find out about Harper sitting out until I got to the game. Yeah, that sucks. Okay, Mel says the World Junior Sweden-Finland semi starts tomorrow at 3:30. So you won't be live before that. Good call. And there's Justin giving us the sports money is money. All right. Unfortunately, guys, like I said, the internet did not cooperate with me, so I don't have a lot of my aforementioned notes. So you're going to have to bear with me when we roll this boat together. And row this boat we will. All right, a couple spots that I want to tell you guys about. I like the Penguins. I didn't quite pull the trigger. Ottawa St. Louis Blues. I did pull the trigger. The Ottawa Senators coming in. Now, remember, we talked about this 9-game road trip. We laughed. We clowned on them because they were fading them in game 1. Now, Dallas, yesterday, get out there. They have to deal with Ottinger. They find themselves just scoring 2 goals. And who do they put in the pipes tonight? Anton Forsberg. Not even serviceable. Borderline bag of shit. 4-6 on the season, 2.95 goals against average. Then you've got the 88.9% save percentage. If it wasn't for the 2 shutouts, he would be a full-fledged bag. But those 2 shutouts have brought his average up. Somehow, surprisingly. And again, look, you're in a bad spot. Now you're on game number 8 of 9 on the road. Then you go back home for a game. Then you got to go back on the road for a game for this Ottawa Senators team. And this carriage might be turning into a pumpkin about now when it comes down to it. Forsberg hasn't played since December 8th. He had an injury, and this will be his first game back. Those are always dangerous spots. If he nags it, reags it, whatever the case may be, who do they go to? Is it the third stringer? Is it the guy that just went out there and got lit up last night? That means you got to play a defensive-oriented game, boys and girls. I see you guys talking about these overs, but this is not a spot I would want to be invested on this over. Furthermore, when you've got your opponent on the second leg of a back-to-back and they're unrested, the total under is 6.5. It's 15-21 to the under. It's not the hugest of margins, but it is a margin. Furthermore, the side in those positions Jordan Binnington's unconfirmed, but should be the scheduled starter for the St. Louis Blues. When you are facing an opponent that's on the second leg of a back-to-back without rest, your favorite up to a minus 200, 23 and 10 are teams in those positions. And that's why I want to jump in here. I think the coupling of the road trip, I think now we're at that position where we look ahead. We look past that just a little bit, 2 more days till they're back home. Tired team, gassed out. They've just got this carriage that has, in fact, turned to the pumpkin. I got to take the St. Louis Blues here. I got the Blues. Let's see. You can follow my action at BetStamp. And I got the Blues at minus 120. It's Mikey Money at BetStamp. Mikey Money at BetStamp. And the Blues at minus 120 to me feels like a steal. Feels like a steal. We're going to take it. That's how we're going to pop off. I know some of you guys were looking at this thing, and I've just given you the numbers. These are just the numbers that I found across the way. But, you know, this is also the giveaway takeaway goal. Your opponent got 2 goals or less the previous game. And the last time you played them, the puck line goals, 1.5. It's an under as well in this revenge type of angle. They're going to play defense. All the trends, all the stats point to these guys playing defense in this game. Now, we'll see. Time will tell. But San Jose Cappers love the Blues today. Seen a lot of shows. This is the scheduling spot for the Ottawa Senators. 2 games left on a 9-game roader. We caught them early. We rode them high. Time to move on. But I'm not going to move on from fading the Senators today. So we will see. Priced up 120 for a reason. I think we got the reason figured out. It's just a matter of getting to the bank line. 2 points plus 400 for Philly Eagle Flyer. Okay, I get down with that. What else we got? Let's see what else is on the old hockey slate tonight. All right. Let's go. Let's go into this Montreal-Chicago game. I think we can keep this a brisk show tonight. Like I said, I don't have a ton of my notes out now either. Montreal rolls into the barn with Sammy Montembeault, their number 1 guy, their starter, their extraordinaire. Struggling a bit on the season, but so is the Montreal Canadiens here. 14-14-2 on his season. 2.98 goals against average, but he's got the 90.2% save percentage. That puts him in serviceable. Your starting goalie's serviceable. The other side of things, the Chicago Blackhawks got busted up 6-2 on the Winter Classic. Ugly. Those are tough games to bet. You never know what the ice conditions are going to look like. And is the game going to start on time? And does it go under? Does it go over? But I do know this. Montembeault came off a pretty solid outing and a win against the Vegas Golden Knights. Look, the resume right now for this Montreal Canadiens team post-Christmas has been nothing but fire. They got W's under their belt against Florida, W's against Tampa, W's against Vegas. Those are the things you want to see on a bye situation. And you got this Chicago Blackhawks team off that sleepy little shit-the-bed position. Teams that got missed the playoffs the previous year that are road favorites off a win. This is the Montreal Canadiens in the healthiest position they could be in all season. 6-0 its last 6 games. 95-32 overall, 7-3 its last 10. This thing is heating up. It says Montreal Canadiens. I'm with the Montreal Canadiens. At minus 140, I was able to get the Montreal Canadiens. Soderblom on the other side of things for the Chicago Blackhawks. He wasn't the guy that took the ass beating. It was Mrazek that got the ass beaten against St. Louis. But look, that's what you got to do. They're on a 5-game losing streak. Soderblom's got 5 goals on 35 shots his last start. That was a 5-1 loss to Dallas. All good things for me to see here for us to buy in on this La Habitants, the Montreal Canadiens. Good spot for us. Chris Sellis says Soderblom equals Montreal minus 1.5. I'm okay with the minus 140. That's about as high as I go, though. I don't like to go over the minus 140. I'll look for alternate ways to play it. But I want this win. I don't want the minus 1 that goes into overtime and I push. I want this win. This is a winnable position for us with a team that's moving up and a team that's moving down. Sticking around with it. Okay, what else we got? Let's keep moving in the NHL. Let's talk about... Let's see what we want to talk about. Wish I had. It's like everything's not where it should be, not where I want it to be. And so that definitely has me in disarray right now. All right, I'm going to go to Edmonton Oilers, Anaheim Ducks, the aforementioned Ducks on that second leg of a back-to-back with no rest, now playing the Edmonton Oilers. They've got Dostal as unconfirmed in goal for the Anaheim Ducks. Serviceable. 2.72 goals against average, 91.4% save percentage. Now, he does have a shutout in there, so slightly elevated, but he'd still be at the 90% threshold, which keeps him serviceable. So you got a serviceable goalie going out there against an Edmonton Oilers team that's ready to kick some ass. They're going to Stuart Skinner, who's 14-8-3. Serviceable. 2.81 goals against average, 89.7% save percentage. Just the easiest way to boil it down for you guys. You know what? If we look at those tiers with these goalies, we've got Vezina Trophy, we've got Elite, we've got Serviceable, and then we've got Bag of Shit. So when it's easiest to look at these goalies and say serviceable versus serviceable, helps you to easily identify, is there a goaltending edge or not? Stewart, however, did come off a big win against the Yeti. It was a 4-1 W. He made 26 saves on 27 shots. Not the start to the season he wants, but the team's been winning. 14-8-3 in his start. So despite his struggles, now starting to uptick. This is a great opportunity at this point in the season to find guys in this position. Skinner's positioning specifically. He struggled early. His numbers are a little deflated, but he's now on the rise. And we know that with his history, he's 26 years old. He's been in the league for a few years now. We know that he's better overall on paper than these numbers suggest, which means he's got to be starting to move in the right direction. What I know about this one here, the last time you played the team, if you gave away the puck more than 15 times, you have less than 2 days rest yourself, and the opponent's on the second leg of a back-to-back. 39-84 to the under. Why? What does that tell us? You shit the bed the last time. Control the puck. Protect the puck. You don't have rest. You can't be greedy and trying to hang man and get this thing flashing and dashing down the ice. 39-84 to the under. Furthermore, the Anaheim Ducks are terrible in the first period. They've lost 6 in a row, I believe is the number, on the first period. So what I did in this case is I took this game under 6.5. It was plus money. Plus 104, plus 105. Something like that. And what I did to it is I added the Edmonton first period minus a half. Edmonton, trying to get back into the winning ways themselves overall, can't be happy about, they're a huge favorite, right? -4, they're -500s. Do you just blindly go on the other side? I don't think so. And in this case, I don't think so because we've got a team here that's coming in. They did beat the Yeti. They found 2 losses before that were right around that holiday time. They haven't played since New Year's Eve. So they got the rest. They had a nice little streak going until they got to Christmas. They came back from Christmas, 2 road games in a row. I get it. 4-3 to LA. 5-3 to Anaheim. It's a revenge spot. On top of all things else. It's going to be ugly. This is one of those spots where this number, I wouldn't lay the -500. You'll never see me do that. But I think I did it once in a UFC fight that it was like, might have been like -1600. And I jacked it for a couple G's. And he was losing. And so I went back on the other side because the other guy was a favorite for I was obviously heavily intoxicated. This dude was over a -1500 as well. So I jacked him for a couple G's. And then my guy ended up winning. The original guy that was the big favorite ended up winning at the very last second, popped the other dude's arm out of the socket. And I was like, fuck, I just lost a couple $1,000. What am I betting -15? Anyways, it's a different story. Fighting is different than the NHL. But I certainly am not laying at -485. But what I found here by doing this Edmonton first period -0.5 in the bounce back revenge spot at home, settling in from the road trip after the holidays, is there -0.5 at -120 coupled with the under 6.5 at +104 makes it a 2.7 unit gainer plus 274 to take Edmonton in the first period -0.5 and the under 6.5. Good enough for me. Good enough for me. Let's see what we got there. Let's see what you guys have to say in the chat. Zach Hyman is due. Patrick Laine, huh? Interesting. Interesting. Shout out to Grandma! It's Racing gifting a sports money membership. Shout out to you, Grandma. Thank you so much for rocking and rolling with us this year. Looking forward to helping make some cash in 2025 and appreciate you building our community with your generosity, your kind spirit. And I still have my grandma horse racing shot glass. It's right here. I don't leave home without it. Appreciate you, Grandma. Thank you so much for rocking with us in this year and this year to come. Okay. Last game for the NHL tonight. The Predators and the Vancouver Canucks. Tricky spot. I learned my lesson with Vancouver. When you have no Quinn, you have no Peterson, you got no chance of getting my money. Let's just be real. You can't, that team doesn't have the depth to be able to zip that many dudes out. And Hughes is the biggest. I mean, the dude's a stud, a defenseman stud. So you got a stud defenseman out of there. You got a key offensive piece. I wish he wasn't out of there. You got Thatcher Demko hurt again. I don't know what the hell's going on with Thatcher Demko. But I know that 3 defensemen are out of the lineup for this Vancouver Canucks team over time. And I know we've got 4 defensemen that are battling the injury list on the Nashville Predators side of things, including Roman Josi. Excuse me. Well, with all these defensemen out, who's going to stop pucks? When we look at the goaltending battle in this one here, Saros is likely. Now, he's been on the uptick, right? First goalie off the ice usually suggests that they will be the starter. He's 8-16-6, 2.82 goals against average, but 90.3% save percentage. Struggle. It's probably the only way I would describe that. He's a 50-50 goalie that wins in 27% of his games. So he's far below his expectation of where he should be. Potentially vulnerable. And we've got the second end of a back-to-back for the Vancouver Canucks. Now, normally I would say you play that defense. You don't take chances, but you potentially gas out. But they don't have any defense. 7 defensemen between these two teams are out of their lineup from what they originally thought would start the season. That's huge. And we've got Thatcher Demko out. Got hurt that last game. Lankinen, what did he have to do? He had to come in off the bench. Now, 15-6-4. He was the goalie during the run the Vancouver Canucks had to start the season. 2.6 goals against average and a 90.7% save percentage. Revenge spot. Lankinen trying to go out there and exact revenge against that Nashville Predators team that traded him, that got rid of his ass. And the Predators find themselves on a 3-game losing streak. Now, to me, and it's not just because I lost, but you got to learn from these losses. This is not a time to start backing the Vancouver Canucks. They could very well win this game tonight. Sure. But you can't get, I'm not into that, sure, maybe they get it done type of game. I want to try to find something that makes a lot of sense. I think I found something that does. It's goals. It's goals. With defensemen out of the lineups, backups getting called in, young guys without experience, and goaltenders that are kind of finding the struggle bus. We got a team coming off in overtime that was a win as a dog. That's the Anaheim. I'm sorry. That's the I screwed. Told you I don't have my notes. Anyhow, the second end of a back-to-back, and you're the home team is the Vancouver Canucks. 20-4 to the over. 20-4 to the over. Teams coming off in overtime. Dog win. You're home with no rest. 20-4 to the over. I'd take a shot with this over. I thought this was a good price here. We got a 5.5. A little juicy at -119, but I was okay with that. I was okay laying that juice. 5.5 is a low number. Is this to somebody who knows something? Maybe, possibly, potentially, but I don't care. I think this is a great opportunity for us with that 20-4 to the over situation, knowing There ain't any defenseman out there to stop the puck. No defenseman, stop it. Give me this. I look at the price on Nashville, considering that they're on a losing streak. That's one of those spots that should tell you this has got to be a Nashville play, but you want to lay that kind of juice? Maybe you parlay it with the over 5.5. Maybe that's not a bad play. Maybe that's not a bad play. Okay, onward, upward. We move to the NBA. We trade in the ice skates. We take out the high tops. We got 3 plays in the NBA for you guys. I was considering a 4th. If I make it, I'll put it on BetStamp. The very rare compliment from Mel for me. Usually Mel and I are battling head to head. Yeah. It's a big gap. I think sometimes people are capping hockey and they don't know who some of these players are and their impact to the lineup. Now, you guys know I'm not a big injury makes the game situation, but in the NBA, those guys are in and out anyways. In the NHL, situationally, it depends. I was wrong about Ovechkin. Ovechkin came out of that Washington lineup. I thought nothing but Washington losses. There's almost nothing but Washington wins. So you got to determine who those players are, but a defenseman with Quinn Hughes caliber is not the guy you want to start fucking around with to find out. Okay. 7 p.m. The Charlotte Hornets play the Detroit Pistons. And I saw my man Ramon Scott breaking the news. There's no ball. They'll have a basketball, but they won't have any balls. And we have +8. Now, this was 7. It's now 8. 66% of the bets and 73% of the cash are on the Pistons. Now, does it matter? We know the line movement is correlated to the injury, so we can explain that piece of it. It is big movement. Then we've got a total that started at 215.5. It's moved to 216.5. We have 84% of the bets and 83% of the cash on the over. That number has only moved 1 point. We did hear about Ball. We do see that, Detroit, from an injury perspective, Ivy's going to be out. Fontecchio's going to be out. But reasonably healthy. Cunningham will be in. And as we talked about on the other side, LaMelo Ball was questionable. Status upgraded. Grant Williams will be out. Trey Mann will be out. It's starting to look a little bit like a mash unit for this Hornets team. Pistons are firing up. Firing up on the Pistons themselves. They're 4-1 in their last 5 games. Their only loss coming at the end of a lengthy road trip to the Denver Nuggets. Let's hear the snowplow. It's snowing. Then we go to the Charlotte Hornets, and they have been on the struggle bus. Lost. They are on a monster losing streak right now, and not having Ball is not going to help this squad. But you know what does help? It does help playing a team you know that you can beat the shit out of. You know who that situation is? That situation is the Hornets dominating the Pistons as of late. Now, I'm going to tell you, I was going to go money line with the Hornets. I know. It's crazy. They're on a losing streak. Plus 250. The Ball news made me say I'll just take the points. You can get an even better number right now. Why? Because they own this team. They're 18-3 straight up. They're 15-6 against the spread. And they're lower scoring games, by the way. So that lack of movement on the total explains to me that it's a 5-16 under trend the last 21 times these teams have played each other. Charlotte's 15-6 against the spread. They're 18-3 straight up. So that does tell me just a little bit, though, when they do play in that dog role, there's obviously a little bit more volatility in the number, which makes sense. You're not going to win them all as a dog. But they win quite a few of them in this situation. I'm not buying these Pistons. I don't care if they won. I'm just not going to take the money line because I was going to parlay this money line with the next game that I'll mention to you, but I opted not. I'm going to just try to play conservatively, get this W. It's a lot of points. That means that we're going to have to see the Pistons win by 10. And they can do it. I mean, look, they beat Orlando. They were 2-point favorites at home against the Magic on New Year's Day. They won 105-96, the big holiday game against an Orlando team that certainly plays better at home, as we've talked about in the past with their home court advantage. And they're beating teams up. I mean, again, that Denver lost, but they beat Sacramento Kings as a dog. They beat the Lakers as a dog. They beat the Sun as a dog. And the Hornets are just getting beat again. They did cover a spread against OKC, but they were getting 14. They did cover 13.5 against Philadelphia, but they're still losing. And I don't care. They know this team. They're comfortable with this team. The horses are running. Cade Cunningham, as I mentioned, Jalen Duren should be out there playing for the Detroit Pistons, but no ball, no problem. Give me a shot here. I'll take the 7.5 points with this Magic team. I'm sorry, with this Hornets team. I'm just not going to play. Dougie Wise thinks they're going to win by double. I still think the Charlotte Hornets have a chance to win this game outright. I don't know. It's tricky. It's obviously tricky. Game number 2 I want to talk about. On the hardwood. Limited notes again, so I appreciate you guys bearing with me here, given the internet challenges. But the positive news is we did get those sub-club videos out there for you guys to get 3 EPL plays, 1 for Saturday, 1 for Sunday, 1 for Monday. And then make sure you check back and look at that community tab. 8 p.m., we got the Wizards and the Pelicanos at the Smoothie King Center. Some days I like the sounds of the Smoothie King Center. Some days I don't. I'm not sure. We got a little reverse line movement. It started at 4.5. It's gone to 7.5. We have 71% of the bets and 72% of the cash on the Wizards. The Pelicans are at 231. Back numbers moved all the way up to 234. And we have correlated movement. We have 81% of the bets and 83% of the cash on the over in this one. And holy cow. I mean, talk about just embracing what sucks right now. This Wizards team. But they're covering spreads. They're 3-4 in their last 7. They're 4-3 against the spread in the last 7. And you got 7.5s and a beefy, juicy price on this Pelicanos team. Let's take a look at this Pelicanos team. When you start looking at kind of their 5-29 at home, they're 7.5-point favorites. And they're on, I think, let me count it real quick. Is this the longest losing streak in the NBA? Let me see. It's got to be pretty close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games. Then they had a win. Then they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 losses. Then they had a win. Then they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more losses. Then they had a win. And then they had 1. I'm not making this up. You got to go back and look. That's how you end up with a 5-win record. They're 12-22 against the spread, but you're going to lay 7.5 points with that team. With this team, you're going to lay that number. I don't give a shit if they're doing it for Jesus Christ himself. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. This is the spot where I wanted to lay the Hornets and the Wizards money lines together. I get it. Look, I understand it. And that could certainly be an uplift. Does it matter about the trends? I get what your guys' angle is. The Pelicans are 1-4 straight up, 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 games as a favorite. That team in the favorite role sucks. They're being outscored by 16.5 points a game. They suck. They lost the last 4 by 18 or more points. And they allow over 118 points all 4 games in those spots. They're 0-2 against the spread and straight up as home favorites. They're 0-11 as regular season favorites past game 1 of the season. Do I need to go on? I don't think so. I think we got a team that's navigating 500 against the spread, and you're giving me 7.5 points, don't be afraid to sprinkle this money line for this Washington Wizards team. I get it. I appreciate it, Nathan Cerna. And it'd be a nice story if they come out there and win by 4 points. And this this lengthy losing streak to come out there and win by 4 points and do it for the city, it's a hell of a thing. But you could do it for me and lose by, or not cover that 7.5 and still do it for the city, and we all make some money. So, Dougie Weiss says the Wizards are the Jets of the NBA. Tom says, just bet DeJounte points over. All right, you guys, last game I got for the NBA is a parlay. It's a 2-legger. And again, this is the don't overcomplicate things situation. I parlayed the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Denver Nuggets. Why? Theory? Thought process? Well, we've got Cleveland, one of the best teams in the NBA, clearly. Respectively, probably the best team in the NBA, still at this rate. They're going down. They're going to have to handle some business. And that business is going to be against the Mavericks team. But guess what? This Mavericks number continues to swell. It's gone from 7.5s to 8s. It opened at 4.5, plus 4.5 for the Mavericks. It's gone up to 10. It's gone up to 10. This parlay kept running from me all day long. I kind of had it sitting on a little tracker. And all day long, the odds just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Now it makes me check who's going to be out of this lineup. Well, we know Kyrie's out. Exum's out. Luke is out. Najee Marshall's out. PJ Washington's questionable. Maxi Kepler is questionable as well for the Mavericks. Okoro's out. Bates is out for the Cavaliers. And obviously it's Luka that's moving this line to the degree that it is. Now, can this team come out there and handle the best team in the NBA without their star player? So let's shovel that one over to the side just for a second while we talk about this next game, because we've got the Nuggets. They did open at 5.5. We've seen some 6s. We've seen some 5.5s. 67% of the bet, 66% of the cash on the Nuggets. Now, I shit on the Nuggets a week ago talking about how bad they are and how bad they've been at home, but man, they started picking up W's. 7 wins in their last 10 games. They've won 3 in a row, and they're 10-5 at home on the season. They're starting to catch that home court advantage with the elevation and altitude. But they got their triple-double machine and Jokic going in there. Remember, we talked the other day, he's a half assist away on the season from averaging a triple-double on the season. Averaging a triple-double on the season is phenomenal. Do we need to talk more about it? No, I don't think so. I think we'll just leave it there. We got this team at home. The West has been, it's a stomping grounds of who's who. Yeah, I get the San Antonio Spurs are trying to figure some things out here. And, against the spread, they're 18-15. They can still cover the spread, but, they're 2-3 in their last 3 games. They haven't played since that home game against the Clippers on New Year's Eve. They performed. But now this is that weird scheduling spot because they had, 4 games on the road, 5 games on the road, 4 games on the road. Then they had that quick stop back home against the Clippers. They won. Now they got this road trip against Denver. Then they got the next game tomorrow against Denver back home. So this is the front of the back-to-back. Do they win one of the games outright? Maybe. Maybe they do. I don't think it's this one. Not in Denver. Not on Friday night. Not with the things that are popping around there right now. I think this is a great parlay. Price tag on it. Minus 127. So it's, it's a little juicy. It's a little juicier than I'd like, but I just thought this was a good place to park a unit and see what can happen from it. Big Scott says Friday live stream. Not from our boys, Big Scott. Everyone got gassed up yesterday. We'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. We will be back and rocking. All right, so I gave you guys the Hornets. I gave you guys the Wizards. I like the Wizards on the money line. I gave you guys that 2-leg parlay with Cleveland and Denver. The other thing you got to mention in this Knicks spot is why not take a look at the Josh Hart triple-double. We talked about the double-double the other day. He now has back-to-back triple-doubles, and that triple-double pays plus 1,200. So that's something for you guys to consider. Last but not least, I'm just going to give you guys a quick play here on the Minnesota-Virginia Tech game in college football. Big battle here. I'll read the lines for you guys here. We'll talk about where it started. Talk about where it's at. Minnesota opened up as 1.5-point favorites. They're now 9.5 points under PJ Fleck in the squad. 71% of the bets and 83% of the cash on this over. Then we look at it. We got 42.5 set moved to 43.5. 84% of the bets, only 77% of the cash on the over. What do we know about these teams? First of all, the ACC has gone winless this postseason. The Big Ten has 2 teams in the semifinals. Let's start there. Now, from a atmosphere and enthusiasm perspective, Minnesota plays hard, man. They do have PJ Fleck. You know, I'm not a big fan of Fleck. I don't like that Fleck bank. I've said time and again, I just don't think it's a good idea to compensate players for snitching. You snitch, you take a stitch. That's how we grew up. And yet, PJ Fleck wants to give his players days off if they catch other players out of line and they come and they tell them. I don't like that culture. Here's the challenge I have with this game. Only one of the losses that Virginia Tech has on the season was by more than double, or it was in the double-digit realm. Everything was at 1 touchdown or less. Now you got this suspicious 9.5. Then on the other side of things, you look at what's going on, and boy, Minnesota, very underrated. Huge games against competitive teams where they lost by a point. You know, overall, when you look at the squad and kind of who they played, they're 7-5 on the season. They lost to North Carolina. They lost by 3 to Michigan, defending champion Michigan. Now we know Michigan suspect. And they lost to Penn State, my favorite squad, by just 1 point. And PJ Fleck's now been with Minnesota long enough to develop his quarterback. Brosmer, ready to roll, learned the new offensive program, feeling pretty good. Virginia Tech, banged, bruised, injuries, player opt-outs. They're going to be without their quarterback. Now, it did matter with Duke. It didn't seem to matter with North Texas in this quarterback situation. But it's also the left tackle. It's the right tackle. It's the center. You guys know when you start losing offensive line components, I want to fade your ass. The question is, how am I going to fade that ass? Here's what I thought. Minnesota's 9-0 to the under when they covered by 13 or more points the previous game. I suspect with your backup running back, your offensive line, everybody being banged up or portaled out of there, Virginia Tech should have some trouble moving this ball. Now, do I think they'll make some stupid plays and give it up and create short field? I do, but I expect that to be in the second half. I think in this first half, what we see that goes down here is both teams try to struggle to figure it out. They play chess for a little bit. Maybe Minnesota does come down and score right off the gate, but they're still beat up as well. They're not fully healthy. They're not a 100% squad. And I like the under. I like riding this under knowing that Minnesota's in that 9-0 spot. They've got their players. Their game plan is ready to go. This number's low for a reason, 42.5. They did give it the 1 point uptick. It's the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Traditionally, these are competitive games with competitive teams. I think it is a tighter scoring game. I don't want to lay 9.5 with Minnesota. I just, it's too many points. But I'll take the first half, and I'll take the first half under. I think it starts slow. You know, they're not going to want to see Virginia Tech put their quarterback in a position where he's going to have to make stupid plays, throwing the ball deep down the field, maybe once or twice, but not going to want to get picked off. It's going to be a little windy as well. 7 miles an hour wind in the forecast. It's Bank of America Stadium down in Charlotte. Potential for a little bit of, well, I would say it's probably going to be a little bit of drizzle. We'll see. It does say 0% chance of rain, but why not see a little drizzle to make this thing just a little more fun? I took the first half under 21.5. First half on the side. I was going to take the first half side. I was going to take the first half for Minnesota. Then I started looking and I saw that the best number was at FanDuel. And that gave me a pause. Gave me a pause for concern. I still kind of like them. I see Pinnacle's now hanging a 6, though. And I always thought that if Pinnacle had the better number as a sharper book, they were telling you a lot with that as well. But I like this first half under. Give me a lower scoring 21.5. That's going to be the way we put the bow on the show. Friday's in the books, boys and girls. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. The play that I'm thinking about adding, follow me on BetStamp because you'll see it there and I'll drop it in the community tab. I'm thinking if it's a double dose of fading my man, Nasty Nate's squad. This line's moving back up now, though. That's kind of what I was waiting to see. The Celtics went from 2.5. Now they're up to 3s. They were 1.5. So they've gone back. We've had some late buyback on the Celtics with 70% of the bets and 68% of the cash. This was a spot where I wanted to get in on the Houston Rockets. You know, the other day I faded them and said, I don't care about their home court first half advantage. And obviously it bit me in the ass. Dallas got busted up. I do play. It's going to be a double dip. It's going to be the first half and the full game. I just got to wait and see where this line finalizes. We got about an hour till that game will tip. Rockets. That was a tough game, that last one. I wasn't excited about it. I do see Jabari Smith fractured his left-handed shoot-around and will miss 4 to 8 weeks for the Rockets. Maybe that's why that line closed on that, huh? Thomas Maggio says, don't trust the Mavs. Wouldn't parlay it. Nice job, Mikey. Rockets out there. And it's the second leg of a back-to-back for the it's the second leg of the back-to-back for the Boston Celtics. That's not a spot they traditionally play well in either. I just haven't fully gotten there yet. We'll see. Thomas, I saw your question. That's why I wanted to throw that out there. And we will see indeed what happens. But until tomorrow, you guys, enjoy your Friday nights. You made it to the weekend. Congratulations. Now get that cash. Get a few cocktails in you. Relax. Loosen up. You had a tough week. Tough 2 weeks with the holidays. We're going to make some money tonight. You're going to watch Morning Steam tomorrow at 9 a.m. And then we'll regroup at 4 p.m. We'll make some money betting in the NFL. Get ready. Have some first touchdown scores ready to share. We want to hear from you guys as well. The last Saturday of regular season NFL football. You're going to see it here on Sports Money. Until then, good luck with those bets on behalf of the Sports Money crew. Enjoy your weekends. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. We don't stop. Rain, sleet, or snow. Pregaming is good to go.
Snow, Curtis, blow, flow, fuck.